I'm surprised we're not live right now. Oh crap. What's up, everybody? Back for another live stream, but this is going to be a bit different because this is the beginning of a new live stream series that I am dubbing the incredibly creative and witty monthly recap. I know, save your applause. It's too good, right? I was going to go right into like the details, but I'm not going to. And got a guest here. We already did a beer review. I want to point this way because it's normal, but it's not. You're over here. Yeah. But for the first ever live show of this series, I am joined by a guest, a very, very dear friend of mine, fellow BeerTuber, Kyle. No Hype Beer Reviews. What's going on,
Joe? Man, it's been a while.
It's been too long. And we said the exact same thing in the review, which, plug, I'll probably post a link in the description box when you post it. I'll edit it. But go check out Kyle's channel in the next couple of weeks, probably. Yeah. He'll be posting a dual beer review we did of this beer right here, Ammegang's Wit. It's 5.2% Belgian style of wit beer, and spoilers, it's pretty tasty. We've had it so many times before. It's whatever. But you know, Kyle's getting into that. Old. Let's go back to some classics. But anyway, I'm not going to dive too far into the details of this live stream. I have been for many months wanting to come up with a concept of being like, hey, I want to live stream more. I want to kind of hang out with some BeerTubing friends. And I kind of want to have something focused. I'm somebody who, if I'm going to do a live stream, I want it beer related. Not that I have anything against people who just do live streams and invite their friends on BeerTube. I join a lot of those streams. I like those streams. On my channel, I like to keep it beer centric. So I was thinking, what could I do? I thought monthly recap would be a good way to say, hey, let's look at our channels over the course of the past month, what we're drinking, what we enjoy, and have it focused around that. But this is going to be, as I was telling Kyle off camera, a chillaxed stream, not taking it too seriously. We're going to go over both of our channels real quickly, go through the videos. If one of us wants to throw out something other than, I like that or whatever, that's fine. After we do that, we're going to do, our favorite beers of January, our most surprising beers, and our most disappointing beers. Kyle and I, we don't like to be too negative. So, and we drink a lot of beer that we enjoy, whether we buy it or, folks send it to us or in beer mail trays or whatever. So it's not like we actively go to the store and be like, I'm going to buy that beer to shit on it. We don't do that because we're not those type of dudes. And then after that, if we have some time, we're going to try to make this about an hour and a half. We're going to do a couple beer news topics, couple beer release information has been released. One beer specifically, I'm sure Kyle's excited about, and we'll talk about it hopefully. But yeah, that's about it. So we'll go over the comments real quick, and then we'll start it up. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to screen share each of our channels. We're going to do Kyle's first because he is the guest. So we'll do his first, and we'll go through his, and then we'll go through mine, and then we'll do the the best, most surprising, and the disappointing. But 4 comments. We have Angel Torres says, "What's up, Joe? What's up, Angel? What's going on? Huh? Yeah. All right. So we got." I don't know this guy. Massive Beers? Who's this dude?
Must be new.
I bet you, though, if his name was Matt, you'd spell it with 2 T's. Guaranteed.
Isn't that the only way to spell Matt?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe call him Matty with 1 T. Anyway, monthly recap. RIP on tapped IP. Yo, yay. Craig from Cat Beer Review says, evening, guys. What's up, Craig? One of my favorite UK buddies. And Gregory, who I know posts on both of our channels, he says, my 2 favorite beer guys. Cheers. Oh, Gregory.
Cheers, Greg.
Gregory. So nice. And then Chaz loves the distribution game. Anytime I do like shelfie beer reviews, he dives deep into like distribution in his area, which is awesome because I don't get a lot of people who do that. So it's curious to see about distribution. He says, one of my local bottle shops has about 4 to 5 tilted barn beers, and they're mostly $19.99. I don't think they sell singles of them. That is a bummer. But I will say I've had, I think, 1 tilted barn beer, and it was delicious, but I was able to get a single. I would say if you maybe, I don't know, look on Beer Advocate on Untapped and see like better ratings, but then again, it's Untapped and Beer Advocate. Yeah. Who knows, right? And then Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews finally hopped into the BeerTubing game. Says, good day, boys. How the fuck are you? We're doing great, Sammy. We're going to recap January, and it was a glorious month, but I don't know if it is. All right, so that's all we have for now. Let me bring up, okay, I brought up the live stream just to see if there's any more live chats. Okay, so I'm going to screen share Kyle's channel, and all I'm going to do, again, keeping it very simple, we're not going crazy, just going to hover my mouse over each video that in order in January for Kyle, and he's going to quickly talk about them, 5, 10, 20, probably up to about a half a minute, or maybe a couple videos if he wants to talk more about it, it's fine. We're going to try to keep it around 15, 20 minutes for each of ours because we're trying to get this done by about 6:30. I don't want this to be a 4-hour stream like when I did the top beers, so let's not get crazy. And I'll just tell you right now, Kyle's not going to be the guy to make this longer. He's 100% not going to be the guy.
Probably
I will be the guy without question. All right, so we got Kyle's channel up here, and it's looking fantastic. So I'm keeping this. The only real structure I have is I'm keeping this to beers we specifically reviewed or videos specifically posted in January. And going forward with the series, this is going to be a live stream I do at the beginning of the month and recapping the prior month. So that's going to be the format going forward. Now, so if we go up on Kyle's channel here, Mocha Wednesday up here is the last beer he reviewed. However, I told him if he wants to talk about the brewery 7 days a week thing he's doing, he's more than welcome to recap it. Although he'll probably post an 8, 9, 10-minute video talking about it and whether or not it was worth it. All right, so first video of the month, Kyle. Beers courtesy of Brian. What do you got?
Also, just to comment real quick, yes, I did already film that video, and I think it is 8 minutes. Yes, so
right on, baby. I watch enough of your videos. I know.
You know me so well, and I'm so predictable. Yeah, so Brian, good buddy of mine who lives in the area that I live in, and we got knowing each other, and we go to fight and together sometimes and stuff. And he's been on my channel also a few times. We might get together tomorrow and film 1 or 2 videos. So you might be seeing Brian again on my channel soon. But yeah, he gave me some cool beers that we'll see this month as we do this.
That's what I'm talking about. Keep the suspense for everyone.
Revolution. That was an interesting one because it was this tropical.
Wait. Oh yeah, Revolution. Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched that review.
Yeah, the life jacket. I don't think tropical barley wine is the new trend. I was glad to have 1 can, and I mean that sincerely. I was glad to have 1 can. I didn't want more than 1, but I wasn't upset that I drank it.
I remember seeing you and you were so confused at what was happening, and it was I would have been the same way because those are typical flavors in a beer like that.
Yeah, coconut, fair enough, but then some of the other stuff, it's guava. I think.
Yeah, mango, guava, passion fruit, right? The first 3. It's
Yeah, so tropical coconut, fair enough. The other stuff, yeah. Where we got next? Oh, Woodland. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool series. They do these barley wine again. Relatively local to me, Utica, New York. Great guy, Keith, who owns and is the head brewer at that brewery and sends me beers off every once in a while. That one was Heaven Hills, and yeah, really nice beer.
And the one thing I do want to mention is, as we're doing this recap, it'll help you. You call this is this supposed to be Belgian, or is that Belgian gold?
No, it is Bergian.
Oh, Bergian. Okay.
I am forgetting the reference. And I apologize to Keith if he sees this. There is a reason why someone he knows, or there is something. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
I was making
it's
sure.
Bergian. And it is pronounced Bergian. I double checked with him.
Cool.
Let's see. Sorry, Gregory said pace yourself. I don't know if it was me talking too fast or beer wise.
No, I think he's just saying, you don't have to go crazy or whatever. No, we don't plan. I would like to say just a casual conversation. That's all.
I get excited. I talk fast.
Me too. It's a problem.
How much do you focus on proper beer temperatures? Oh, yeah, that was a suggestion from a viewer to talk about on a Thursday's Thirsty Thought video, which I love doing those. I call them calorie-free content because I don't have to drink a beer for them.
And look at the views, 228 views. I mean, they get
and they do people respond.
Yep.
It's cool.
Great interaction.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, Joe, you're similar to me where if it's a stout or something, you like it a little bit warmer than an IPA kind of a thing.
Yeah, I have a darker beer fridge that I keep at 54, and anything that I barrel aged, big imperial, barley wine, stouts, things like that, it goes right in there. That's kind of how I drink those. But the one thing we do agree on is the triple IPAs. I like them colder. We don't like the alcohol. You and I are definitely on the same page.
No, thank you. Yeah, not at all. Even when we did the review that'll be on my channel of what we're drinking right now, we talked about it beforehand. Let's take it out 10 minutes before the review and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I like this because of the style.
Yeah, a brown ale. I mean, super. Fidens is known good or bad for hazies. And I think people are starting to realize they make some of those nice new school West Coast. They have a fruited sour series that's I think gaining a little bit traction. But man, a brown ale going that direction.
Nice to see, man. I always like when hype breweries are throwing out classic styles and doing them well. Yeah. And I don't even like brown ales, but that would be a beer I would have totally picked up if Fiden was local like it is for you. 100%.
Yeah, no, it was super rad. I think now they have the tap room. They do want to have a little bit more of like an oatmeal stout, a brown ale, available, which is smart.
Yeah.
This next one really sad for me because I just found out that my area did get this and it just sold out before I could score one. So I was just thinking
last year's Will of Ties, 2023. You're saying
the recent release of it.
Okay.
Because it wasn't posted to social media, so I didn't think we had gotten it yet. But then I started calling beer stores like, "Oh no, we already got that in. It sold out." I was like, "Oh, you're kidding me!" And then I just found out today the same thing happened with double nugget nectar.
Yeah,
my area did get it and it sold out. So 0 for 2 there. But that beer was great, even with some age on it. The 2022.
Yeah, that's cool. That's if I feel like you'll be able to find it somewhere at some point. No, like that beer hangs out for a little bit.
I hope so. I mean, I do hope so. I think I ended up calling 5 of the local beer stores, and I don't know. We'll see. Because I missed out on the double nugget nectar last year too, so I was really wanting to get it this year. But anyway, just beer. Gotcha. The unboxing, that's stuff that I'm reviewing currently. So some of that stuff's January, some of that stuff's February. And then there's a couple extra Black Tuesdays, and then one, what's it called? Scoop, which is an ice cream inspired. I don't remember if it's Black Tuesday base or they have a different stout base. I forget which stout base they use for that one. Oh, hey, Billy, what's up, brother?
What's up, buddy? I sent him an email about an hour beforehand because he likes to be notified. So what's up, Billy?
Great. Yeah,
glad he made it.
Yeah, no, Billy's awesome. Oh yeah, that one was that Keith, I think, from 93 Lumber.
I think it was.
And yeah, that I do remember liking it. It's a brewery I had heard of, but I don't think I'd had any or I hadn't had much of. So that was super rad. The next one is another from that Woodland that is, again, it is Bergian.
Okay, so yeah,
confirmed. They call it a golden barley wine, but it's not that golden. But he does like to make the distinction. But that one was cognac barrels, it was just kind of cool because I don't drink a ton of cognac barrel aged stuff, and I don't drink a lot of cognac. So it was just kind of cool from a beer reviewer point of view to kind of get what are the flavors that I'm really getting from that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know cognac well or not really? Or
no, I mean I don't drink a lot of cognac, but I love cognac barrel aged and like when it comes to like brandy and things off the beaten path. So like I would, for lack of a better word, fuck that beer up.
Brandy and apple brandy barrel aged stuff I love, but I don't drink like any brandy or apple brandy. Like I never seek that out, but those barrel aged beers.
I know Matt and I, because I had a Polish grandmother, she used to drink blackberry brandy, and that was something that I would occasionally sneak sips of and whatnot. And I do enjoy some blackberry brandy.
My grandparents, they also drink that. North Park and Troon. So that's one of the beers that Brian gave me that I did in that first video.
Not hyped at all. Not a hype beer.
I mean, talk about 2 super hyped breweries. I think if you live near North Park, it's super easy to get, which is nice. But whereas Troon obviously is super difficult to get, and obviously
people like a fork to get like a crawler of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, North Park makes awesome stuff. So yeah, that was a real treat to have.
Especially their West Coast beers, like their West Coast style beers. Like they do like incredible job. So I'd imagine that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
More brewery stuff.
Oh, was the brewery membership worth it? The short version, I mean, watch the whole video if you haven't, obviously, but if you're interested in the topic. But the short version was, for me, yes. But if I did it every year, I would just accumulate more than I could drink. So I'm taking at least a year off to finish drinking what I already bought. But I mean, they make awesome stuff. I've literally had one beer from that brewery I don't like. So I'd say that's good stuff.
Yeah. And you and I talked about it recently, but the fact they come in is it 375s now?
Doing more 375s.
So some of those beers, are around the 20 mark, and it's like, dude, I don't need fucking 750 of it. that's insane.
Yeah, no, that's tough.
Next beer, super jelly here.
Oh my goodness, I was so stoked. This is another one that Brian gave me because I've had the regular. It's been a while, and I thought I had reviewed it, but I looked back and I hadn't reviewed the regular. And this one, did have a little bit more oomph to it, so definitely worth seeking out the double dry hop, especially if you've had the regular and like it. Yeah,
for sure. Parrish makes great beer, so Goshen Machines.
Oh yeah, no, they crush it. Yeah, for sure. Chocolate Rain, 2019 vintage. Going back to what Joe just said about like the higher ABV beers coming out of many of these brewery beers. But then you have the adjuncts, so you get a little nervous. How long do I want to age it for? But I want to age it for a bit to let the alcohol hopefully die down, flavors melt, all that stuff. And I tell you what, drinking that 2019 in the first part of 2024 was good. It still had a lot of the chocolate stuff, so that was good. Like the adjuncts were still showing that way. Oh man, what a beer!
But it's one of those beers you probably were like, I'd still 375 would have been good.
Oh no, for sure.
Right? Like,
because my wife doesn't like the style. I don't know anyone in my area who likes the style, so that's always me solo. So
capping that and coming back to it potentially type of
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah. As people probably know if they watch my channel, I'm a big fan of those kind of beers. Cap it, drink the half today, the other half tomorrow. Yep. I might do a video about that and kind of show see when I open it again, it still pops. There's still carbonation.
Yeah, show people what you're used to like.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, show them the few tools I have and just it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, it definitely is. 100%.
Yeah, North Park and Troon again. Again, what can you say? I don't know. Another delicious beer.
And the real dog dads, and you're a dog dad, so.
And I'm a dog dad, which I loved. Yeah, that was fun. Keith again gave me this from 93 Lumber. Make sure you guys check him out. You spell out 93 Lumber. It's not the letter, or it's not the number. It's 9 and 3. You spell it out 93.
I always mess up. I can't spell, so
Free Will. I've never had a bad beer from them. They make awesome stuff. A lot of different styles. They're one of those breweries that for me, you have to respect, because if you can crush so many different styles, it's hard for a brewery to crush one style. When you can do well with that many different styles, they have all my respect. And it was a small can, it was 8 ounces or 10 ounces, which is awesome. Big fan of that. Go ahead.
Before you go to the next one, I was just say, anybody in the comments, feel free to post, what you've been drinking the past month too. I don't think I've mentioned that.
For sure.
Definitely want to hear, especially if you, there's an awesome beer in January that you loved. Post in the comments. If you've been doing dry January, let us know some non-alcoholic beers. I review them occasionally, so I don't think I mentioned that, so I just wanted to.
Good call. I had one. I didn't review. It was at a restaurant, but I had the Sam Adams.
Just the haze.
The haze. I would buy that for sure. That was
that's still one of my favorite hop forward non-alcoholic beers. I think it gets the style as close as probably can get for a non-alcoholic beer. It's
right. I mean, good on Sam. I should grab some and review it and give them some props.
For sure, it's a great NA beer.
Yeah. So on Tuesdays, sometimes I try to drink non-beer stuff, mystery beers, different styles, beer-wise certainly, but sometimes I like to do coffee or spirit. So this was a spirit my friend Chris sent me, and I had the year before. I owned the bottle from the year before, or no, from 2023. He sent me the 2022 first quarter release of it, and that was really nice. I just finished, I did half on camera, drank the rest of it because it was just a little vial. Yeah. A week ago, really nice. That one I put on a big ice cube, really nice. Larceny makes great stuff. I was introduced.
Big ice cube, blasphemy!
I know.
I don't drink spirit.
I probably shouldn't have admitted that on. No. But
unsubscribing.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was say unsubscribing.
I was introduced to Larceny just because Goose Island used them for one of those wheat wines, and I was like, oh, I really like this. So I'll check out their stuff, and really good. I mean, Sloop. Oh yeah, what's up?
Rick is a viewer of both of our channels. He's spending having a getaway this weekend with his wife. He's got a young child, so it's tough for him to get away. So he was like, I'll pop in if I can. Thank you, Rick, for popping in. I appreciate it. Even if it's just a pop in to say cheers, fellas, we do appreciate it.
For sure.
And then Chaz says, my last beer yesterday was Von Trapp Trost and smoked lager, 90 rating on Beer Advocate. Now, 90 rating on Beer Advocate, or 90 is what you gave it. That is one from Von Trapp I have not had, but I know people do enjoy. So definitely have to try that out. And then Sammy says, cheers to Craig, and Rick rocking out over there. He's just saying, a little head nod from Rick.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah. All right. Now, this juicier bomb. Yeah.
That was coming. I love Sloop. I hadn't had that one before. I sent the video. My oldest daughter, her boyfriend bought me a 4-pack for Christmas. And I'm like, and we split. He gave it to me at their apartment, and then we had each of us had a can. I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to review one of these other cans that I have left. Really nice. Sloop does make awesome stuff.
They are very and it's crazy too. You see that variety pack where they have the juice bomb pack, and it's $20 for 12 ounce cans. And it's I would have never thought in a million years you'd be getting Sloop for $1.67 a can in a grocery store, super fresh.
Yeah,
it's insane.
They're not quite the top tier haze makers. No. But they're just if you're gonna do the S tier, I'd put them A. I think they're and maybe that's so much of that's availability and price too factoring in, but like they hit the spot when you want that.
When you take in their value, they're up there. That's the way I would look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
that I got some good results from that, some good feedback. And you had mentioned, I'm already forgetting if it was off camera or on camera, but I wrote down the ideas I wanted to use, and you saying revisiting styles or revisiting beers you used to like to see if you still like them is on my list that I'm going to be doing for sure.
On my gang whip, baby.
Yeah, right. We're already doing one of them. The real whale for me is going to be Abita's Purple Haze because I haven't seen that beer in a while.
Man.
Yeah.
Abita Purple Haze is one of my dad's favorite beers. He loves it.
That was the gateway beer for me for sure. Do you want me to do more? Do you want to go back to the comments? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'll go back to. I'll just go back and forth.
Yeah.
So Garrett says I have my favorite Dortmunder Dab in the fridge. Can't wait to crack some open. Nice. I haven't had Dab in a long time. It's been a long time. But yeah, that's always, as far as Dortmunders go, I remember getting it and enjoying it. January's top beer equals Jackie O's barrel-aged barley wine, decorated pieces of thyme, aged bourbon, and apple brandy barrels outstanding. So Gregory sent me that actually in an email. I was like, I just had this. It was delicious. And I was like, yeah, sign me up for brandy barrels. Like, fucking, we talked about it earlier, but like, yeah, with cognac, but like brandy, fruited brandy.
Yes.
And Jackie O's makes top. I just wish we could get Jackie O's in New York State. Like, they were here for a little bit and then they were gone. So
yep, it's so sad.
It is very. And then Angel says, Joe, Foxfire came out with a beer called Oath, an Imperial Nitro coffee stout with coffee and cacao, partially aged in vanilla, brandy, and rye whiskey barrels, 11%, 875 and 12-ounce can. I would do some very disgusting things to get that beer. I don't know what those would be. Maybe high five somebody who has the flu. I don't know, but I would say that. That sounds fucking phenomenal. When you got me with the vanilla brandy, like, okay, sign me up. And I know we both like Fox Farm stuff, shit. So like, it's there.
Fox Farms are awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Angel, thanks for bringing down the mood. No, I'm just kidding. I try to keep up with Fox Farm stuff. Like they send me the newsletter, but they always have like 30 beers available in the newsletter.
That's wild.
And then Sammy says, I have no interest in anything Joe says. I just want to see his demise after 2 beers. Well, I'm drinking one, so fuck you, Sammy.
One beer and it's only 5.2%.
Yeah.
So what's about him?
All right. Dad joke out of the way. Here we go. All right. So next is you got the Revolution here.
Yeah. So this one was very nice. They're going for the breakfast vibe. It's got coffee. I'm a sucker for coffee and beers like that. That was a nice one. I would just prefer Cafe Death though, Death, however you pronounce it.
Yep.
People tell me both. So how do you actually pronounce it? But it was still good. Don't get me wrong. But I would prefer their regular cafe. Weyerbacher got into some interesting and cool conversations because, like, I didn't know if they were still a brewery or not. Mm-hmm. So that that fostered another Thursday's Thirsty Thought video that we'll get to. But I have 2 beers that are similar. So I drank one of them, and I still have the other one from them. But they're I don't know if I said it in the video, but they were anniversary beers. That's why I called it like legal, like finally legal.
Yes. They used to release a lot of anniversary beers for sure every year, and they would change it up. I do remember when this came out. I don't think I had it though, but I remember when this came out. Did it hold up pretty well? You said, or
pretty well for especially adjuncted. Yeah,
probably everything fell off a little bit, but still, it didn't turn into a mess of a beer. Basically,
no, for sure.
And then
this was fun. You and I are similar that we don't review stuff too often, but it had been like 4 years. I think if I remember correctly, like 4 years since I had reviewed a Jasper, and I was able to get the Jasper with PaTroll. Yep. So I'm like, oh, this will be fun. And I was like, do I do them side by side or not? So I just did one. I did Jasper one day, and literally the next day, the PaTroll one. So it was still fresh in my mind. But that was a lot of fun. That was. Maybe I should have done side by side, but one of the reasons I didn't do side by side is I literally got the last can of PaTroll. I wanted to get 4 of them. They're like, we only have 1. I'm like, that's fine.
What was the preference between the 2 though? Like if you had to pick?
Well, because Jasper has a lot of peach, in my opinion, anyway. So it was cool to kind of dial it up a notch. Even I don't know which one I would gladly buy both again. I'll put it that way. It was all win.
Fair enough. All right, we'll do the comments real quick and then
Yeah.
All right. So Rick says, I got my eye on that. LOL. I think he's talking about the Fox Farm. Might pick some up on the way home tomorrow. Oh, man. They're killing me. My bell's twitching. As for now, drinking a romantic as hell Miller Lite. That's what I'm talking about. Rick drinks all these crazy beers. So, time and place for every beer. And Miller Lite is apparently the time and place right now for Rick. It's romantic, he's chilling with the wife. So,
No, it's good. It's good.
Can't be drinking, 11% vanilla brandy and rye whiskey barrel aged stouts.
Yeah.
And then Brian H says, "Cheers, guy."
So that's Brian, who we've been talking about.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Cheers, Brian. Awesome. He probably popped in from your Facebook, maybe.
I also told him about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listening, you selling the stream. I love it. Sammy says, I came across a random imprint sour in a Chinese grocery store in Melbourne last night. It's a great. That is it. Not only is it a Chinese grocery store, but it's in Australia and it's imprint and it's a sour, and that's insane.
That's a lot of things to add up. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if my brain can process that right now.
That's a lot.
Sorry, Sammy. That's just way too much. And then Brian says, Peacherine. Is it Peacherine or Peacherine? I always say Peacherine. Does it matter?
I'm not the guy to tell you how to pronounce it.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I can barely speak English properly.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not the guy.
That guy.
Rick laughing at his Miller Lite escapades over here, or the fact that we referenced them.
Ooh, makes good stuff.
Yeah, John, nice. An 8th anniversary trip. They've been around for 8 years, huh?
I also didn't know that.
No, that's awesome.
Wow, good on them. Yeah, they make great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so what do we got next? We got your Woodland Farms up here.
Yep, you're right, with the maple bourbon doppelbock. Yeah, we'll be talking about this more when we talk about
dude. When I was watching the review, I was just like, I didn't comment, I don't think, on the video, but I was just like, I hate my life right now.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Revolution, cuvee. It was cool because I didn't look up what it cuveed. And as I was reviewing it, I was getting some big barley wine notes, a little bit of stout notes, and then I looked it up, and then a viewer was nice enough to also share it. It was like the Firestone Walker anniversaries. It was pretty like. There was like 5 or 6, 7, 8 threads in there. So like it had a lot, but it was including barley wines and stouts. So, just from like a beer reviewer point of view, I'm like, oh, I feel good because I was, tasting both of those things and ended up being both of those things.
The fact that you called it the cuvee, not the cuvee.
Hey, that's trademarked, I thought. Don't you have that on lock?
No, I don't. It's Don't Drink Beer is the one that in a lot of reviews, that's where I took it from. He used to be like he would do like the bourbon counties, and he put it like through a French press, and then he would like just put a bunch of shit and be like,
I forgot. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I
shout him out all the time.
No, I never put that together.
I shout him out all the time because those were hilarious. The way he would have that like just weird accent that he just made up out of nowhere, and then guys got the Corey, and I'm like, oh dude, this is great. I take that.
Oh my god.
So
that's a trip.
I never, said that it was like my thing. I always shout him out because it's.
Oh yeah, no, that was me thinking it was your thing. I did not put those two things together. Even though I'm sure I've heard you shout him out, it was still like.
Yeah,
wow.
Those videos are great.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Don't Google. Oh yeah, so doing that Weyerbacher release, and I'm like, I don't know if because they've had a few different owners. I don't see their stuff in New York anymore. So that's why I was like, oh, that might be a fun one. Like, what's a beer that you don't know if they make anymore or not? Don't Google it. Put it in the comment section below.
You got a lot of good response. My response was Ballast Point Sculpin. And Joe from Joe's Arcade was like, yeah, we still get it here. I'm like, dude, I was so pumped up when like Constellation bought them, not because they got bought out, but I was like, maybe the distro would get better. Yeah. It was the exact opposite. It was like, oh, you get Sculpin, a pineapple Sculpin, a habanero Sculpin. Too bad, not anymore. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, that was. You're right. That was a bummer. Just to finish out that column or that row. Let me go back to the comments if you want.
No, let's do our physical and then we'll do it.
This one, I wish I bought another 4-pack. I just figured, it's a triple IPA. I'll be super happy with a 4-pack. I bought another beer that I haven't reviewed yet from them when I went up to visit the brewery. And because like triple IPA 4-pack, that seems like enough. I immediately, when I finished the 4-pack, was so mad that I didn't grab a second 4-pack when I was there.
Yeah. It's funny. I pretty much watched the vast majority of your reviews, if not all of them. And you look and see like some are completed and some aren't. And I don't know why that is.
Oh,
you know what I mean? See, like it'll be on mine too. Like I watch all mine back to make sure there's no issues with the upload. And it's like it's weird because like these two are full and then like these aren't. And I'm like, what the hell? I watched this and I was. the one thing I remember specifically said about it is like, this isn't a hype beer because it's artisanal outside of like their, they do the warhead.
They do the warheads with people.
Beer like this is comparable to a lot of like great,
Mhm.
as far as like a triple IPA goes. And it's like, there's a lot of breweries like that. They don't have the name recognition, but they're doing stuff that some of the more hype breweries are doing. So
Let me say one thing before we finish this row and go
we'll go to comments after you say
yeah.
this.
And then, it's interesting to me because they're right by where that new Treehouse is going to be located. So like, I definitely want to put the word out. If you're heading to Treehouse, awesome. I'm going to be heading there too.
Check them out. Yeah,
and for the very least of those other local breweries there, check these guys out for sure. Hands down.
For sure. Like, that's hopefully it helps them and doesn't kill them.
That's my hope. Yeah.
All right, a couple comments and we'll do the last couple of rows. Angel says drinking a Keller beer from Schilling called Siedla.
Sure.
Sounds good. Schilling makes awesome stuff. I have a smoked lager that I picked up because I'm trying to. I did some of the Schilling curlers, and I'm like, all right, let's try some more. I'm not turning into Keith. I don't think, not yet, anyway. But we're gonna try some more smoked beers and see how it goes.
Yeah, they're delicious.
What's up, Rod?
Hey, Rod.
Cheers, buddy. Rod, I'll have to get you on here at some point too, in the future, so we can go over your prior month, but chat because it's been too long, and I'm always on your channel. You haven't really been on mine. We'll get that done. And then Wings and Pizza. I love Wings and Pizza's name because I love Wings and Pizza, but got a Veshmal gift pack for Christmas. Haven't tried it yet. Anyone know if they're any good? Yeah, Veshmal makes great Belgian beer. Yes. Like they are a great Belgian brewery. Like their Triple is one of my favorites, and I don't even really like the style. Like if you're talking about Belgian, I like darker Belgian beers, but their Triple is just, it's great.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. And then Brian says, dude, I want to try all the ferns. Like I see like that's like the new age series from Treehouse, everyone loving. Platinum Fern, he's had Platinum Fern recently. Those Treehouse Fern series beers have been fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to try those. Like I've seen so many people drink them just like, this is what Treehouse, this is like almost like an old school Treehouse. Like this is like when they introduced other series, and how about you? If you haven't had any, ready?
I haven't had any, but I've been hearing the same thing. Yeah.
Rod, maybe next month, buddy. You might be the second guest. We'll have to figure it out, but
yeah.
We'll do it. All right. So the last two rows we got. All right. So you got a classic here, maybe.
Man.
Up the road on the stand.
Speaking of Ballast Point, so yeah, like I like this beer fresh. It did, with the age, this was not a beer to age. But yeah, again, like that was always really exciting when it hit New York, and I was able to grab a 4-pack of those. So definitely a nostalgia beer. But yeah, did not stand up to the aging with the adjuncts and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which makes sense, but that beer as a whole is just fresh. Couple years on it, it's awesome. Typically.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I would give it a year or two even, and say it would still be worth for sure. But at this point, 5 years out, yeah, it was.
So instead of going through these individually, you just want to talk about these as a whole, since they're like all related.
Yeah, and that. I'll because I am this Monday, because I have Sundays posting tomorrow, and Sunday because it's like a Sunday inspired one, SUNDAE. And then Monday, I do have a video, like I said, already recorded, going over, and I don't want to say worst to best because none of them were bad. Actually, they were quite rewarding, each of them, but some were better than others. Without spoiling too much, I think you would really like the one from yesterday, and so did I, with a coconut in it.
Yeah. That one's, I haven't watched it yet, as you can see. I've not watched these two yet.
Yeah, because it's funny, like knowing you, and this isn't just a you thing, like other people as well. Like you kind of get to know people's palates and what they like or not. And you and I both like coconut in beers like that, whether it's coming from the barrel or has coconut added. And you probably even more than me liking it. So it was one of those things, as I was drinking it, I thought of you and I was like, yeah, this is a beer Joe would really like. So it's cool that we're on this stream and I can kind of mention that. But Grey Monday I've had many times for other, different vintages, Mocha Wednesday and Black Tuesday. So the other ones, it was cool to try for the first time. It might be the first time they brewed them. I actually don't even know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, those 375 milliliters were awesome, way easier format to get through. And yeah, like it was super fun. One of them is in my top beers of the month, so we can. Do you want me to segue to that now? Do you want to do more?
No, we can wait.
Do you want to do your list and then come back?
Yeah, we'll do my list and then we'll come back for that stuff.
Perfect.
Keep the people in suspense, baby. I don't want to do nothing real fast.
Perfect. Love it.
All right, so yeah, so that was everything. So the only 3 beers that he drank in February of this, but I said, "What you're doing the 7 days? What we're not gonna be like." Hey, again, this is where it's more chillaxed and not like, "Oh my God, this beer was on February 1st. We're talking about February." Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like they're all connected anyway. So so I thought that went pretty well. That's cool. And even though I've watched, I think almost every single one of those reviews, if this is what I do. Spoiler too. If I don't watch the reviews, I still click on the video. I still give you a like. And
it's a good move.
That's what you do. I mean, you gotta support your BeerTubing friends. Even if you can't, I have a lot of BeerTubing friends, a lot of people I watch. So it's like I can't watch everything, but there's certain individuals I watch like 90 to 95% of the
same.
Even if I don't comment. Because it's
I very rarely comment. I'm usually making dinner, watching them. So doing other things. So I get it.
For sure. Okay, so now we're gonna do mine. I'll share the screen for mine, but then we'll do comments and then move into mine. Okay. All right. So last comments we got was Garrett said, he said, I have some 2023 CBS aging, need to get more. CBS is one of those beers where like, as I had it over the years, it got, I don't say worse because that sounds bad, but like I still, the original release that I had of it personally was back in 2013 or 14. And that was top tier. And then every single subsequent time I've had it, it's been a little bit worse than the prior one. It's still a great beer when I've ever had it, but I haven't bought the latest one. I know you haven't either, Kyle. And but I hope people are still enjoying it. It's definitely better. Always has been better to me than regular KBS. But that maple will probably fade out decently quick, in my opinion. And then Michael Johnson says, need to pick up a couple CBS. Sweet. And then Paul says, I watch all your stuff and I always deeply regret it afterwards. I love you, brother. Paul, I regret even knowing you at this point, okay? You son of a bee. No, I love Paul. Paul's one of my OG BeerTubing friends going back now, over 10 years, like 11, 12 years. I love his
sister channel too, which is
the PA Outdoor Couples. Go subscribe to it. Paul, if you want to log in with that account so I can put it on camera so people could grade it. Him and his fiance,
it's cool.
Yeah, they have a good time exploring Pennsylvania, which is a vast commonwealth. Paul, all right, it's a commonwealth. Settle down. All right, so and you as a history teacher, Kyle, you're like, it's a commonwealth.
It is a commonwealth. But
don't gang up on me. It's all right. All right, so for me, the first beer I reviewed. Now this was. I plan on reviewing Anchor Christmas Ale, and we'll talk about that later if we have time. But obviously, for obvious reasons, that didn't happen last year. They didn't release the Anchor Christmas Ale. So I went to Plan B, and it was Mad Elf from Trogs. And I was like, I haven't had this in a while. The last time I actually had it was the same year. Kyle, you sent me an aged bottle for a mystery beer, and I reviewed it, and I called it a Doppelbock. And you were like, yeah, now correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you did a vertical of it as the years went on, like the cherry faded. And that's what I noticed in that aged bottle. So doing it fresh in my memory compared to like that mystery beer, completely different beer. And Mad Elf's delicious. Now Kyle doesn't rate on his channel. I do. And I gave it a 4.25. I wrote down the ratings for him. So I just go, it's a good beer. It's always good. So it's that classic, seasonal release that I like to pick up every year if I can. Next, we did something that some people are like a little bit taboo because it's Boulevard. They're Tank 7s, that classic American Saison, they call it. This one was brewed with cranberries. I didn't hate it. I gave it I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 or like a 3.95 or something. Is it as good as the regular Tank 7? No. I mean, but that's like a classic staple beer, right? Like that's what that beer is. So it wasn't. But it was still fun to try. Like and Boulevard's barrel program, I can't stress it enough. It's amazing. Everyone needs to still drink Boulevard barrel aged beers. They're fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they make
and they're fucking shelf turds. It's ridiculous. All right, so next we have Sierra Hotel, who has hooked up Kyle before with some awesome beers. He sent me a crazy beer mail with like half barrel aged craziness, half hyped hop forward beers like Brew Host beers, for example. He sent me a couple of those. Awesome beer mail. I've gotten through about, I think, 6 of those beers so far. Still got some more coming next month, but it's Sierra Hotel. He brings the heat, as the kids would say, right? I don't know if they actually say that anymore because I'm not hip to what the kids say.
Not anymore. They say Riz. I don't know.
I'm gonna just ignore you said that. I'm gonna ignore that. I don't know what the fuck you just said. I'm just gonna ignore that. We're too old, Kyle. We're too old. Help me. The next beer was a West New York Wednesday from Brickyard. They're a relatively local brewery to me. This was a Buffalo Sabres inspired 2 beer releases, one for a player on the Sabres, one for their longtime announcer who unfortunately passed away in August. One was a sugar cookie IPA. The other was a classic West Coast IPA. Pretty good stuff. I gave them both around, I think like a low 4. They were solid. I would happily drink them again. And like price point wise, they were pretty reasonable. Like I think like $12 to $14 a 4-pack.
Are they in Rochester?
No, they're Lewiston. So like right across the Canadian border. They're
Okay.
Next is a Czech Pilsner from Urban Chestnut. This was sent to me by a viewer of the channel, Curtis. I actually got a little diacetyl in this, and I know that's not that uncommon for the style. A lot of people drink Pilsner or Kel and get it. But it was kind of off-putting by the end of it. Like I gave it in the review, I gave it like I think a 3.9. By the time I got down to the end of the glass, I was like, I don't want any more of this. You know what I mean? That was that buttery kind of, diacetyl, and it's just like, not for me. Luckily, I never got that in Pilsner or Kel, else I probably wouldn't like that beer, if we're being honest. Like, I know it's an off flavor that's okay in the style, but I just, not for me. And then this we'll talk about a little bit later, but from Cigar City, their Maduro Brown Ale. We talked about your Fiden's Brown Ale, right?
Yeah.
This was another one I haven't had in years, and I was, dude, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like for a brown ale, and again, I don't even like the brown ale style. I gave this a 4.1, which is probably like a fucking 4.8 for a normal person who likes brown ales. It was just tasty. Like, there's not much more to say. It's just fucking tasty. All right, we'll do some comments there. So here we go. Paul's PA Outdoors couple. Like, share, and subscribe. I need you to settle down. He can't be telling people to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe this video, Paul. Okay. No, but he says cheers and get outdoors. That's their tagline. All right, and he's right. You should. Michael says you've been costing me some cash lately. Oh, I have I? He said got a 12-pack of Sierra Nevada Hot Bullet Magnum and a 30-pack of Jenny Cream Ale because of you. Let's say my wife is not a fan. Don't ever show her the channel. Just do not. Ill-advised. But both of those beers, I mean, Jenny Cream Ale for what it is, you should enjoy it. And then Hot Bullet, man, it's for a 12-pack that was probably like low 20s, like worth it every single day.
And what's a 30-pack of Jenny Cream? $8? I mean,
no, it's like 16, 17.
I love that beer. That's not me. I love that beer. That's like my family. That's like the go-to on my dad's side. I love that beer. But
after drinking Budweiser for Back Row Monday and seeing that it was like $25 a 30-pack, I'm like, there's no way I'd ever buy that over Jenny. Like when it's like $8 less a 30, like. Fucking what? Paul says Mad Elf with age is much better brew after the cherry fades and the nice nuances come to the forefront. Well, you're fucking weird, Paul. No, I can see how that's the thing. When I did that mystery beer, I really liked it, but the cherry had faded and it turned into like a double box. So we have like it was like more malt driven, caramel, toffee, things of that, like a light chocolate. It was like a good beer. It just wasn't Mad Elf.
And they do release the Naked Elf, which is that beer without the adjuncts, and it's delicious. So I
would have liked to get that, but it was in their variety pack, and I didn't buy the variety pack. That's the only way I could get it. Garrett says, "Have you had any barrel-aged braggot beers? I need to bottle my braggot beer with a ton of lemon drop hops for a homebrew competition coming soon." I have had braggots. Has been a long time, but I really like them. But I like mead, so it's like it makes sense. Combination mead beer basically. I do enjoy it. But lemon drop hops in a braggot, huh? That's interesting. And then Sammy, get fucked, nerd. He says, damn you and your brew host, Joseph. The fact that you called me Joseph is, I might have to delete you from the channel. Chad says, Maduro Brown Ale is intense if you had it where you were new to craft beer. Yeah, I mean, that's a beer where, like, probably blows out your palate if you just don't know what's going on. But, like, for a brown ale and like, the value and shit, true to roof. And then Brian says, Maduro Brown is solid. Always like a good brown or nut browns. Yeah, like Ithaca, right? Ithaca Nut Brown. Like, that's the classic, New York beer that not enough people.
That's a good beer.
Yep. Paul says, Chez, that brew is fantastic. Joe sent me it as a mystery. Nailed it on the review. Maduro? Yeah. No, I sent you a variant of that, Paul. It was not Maduro. It was like something else they do with it, but it was the base Maduro with like something else in it. But yeah, you pretty much nailed it. It was pretty awesome. All right. So next is a very polarizing beer for not the beer itself, but for everything around the beer. From Russian River, they're Pliny for President 2024. A lot of big beer tubing names like Joe from Joe's Arcade and Matt from Massive Beer Reviews reviewed this one. The problem with this one everyone had was the price point. It was $40 a 4-pack shipped for 16-ounce cans. Now, is that crazy? Yes. Is the beer delicious? Yes. Does it taste anything like Pliny? No. This is a new age West Coast IPA. Yeah. It doesn't taste like Pliny. It tastes more like a North Park West Coast IPA, like that they bring to the forefront nowadays. But a lot of people got it. They're like, this is delicious. And I'm like, yeah, but if you like Pliny, you probably still would like that beer, but they're not the same thing. You know what I mean? it's just not that classic West Coast IPA. But it was fucking delicious. And Sierra Hotel sending me a can randomly surprising me was pretty fucking cool. So shout out to him. Next is I don't do a lot of Canadian craft beer just because we don't get a lot here, but we're starting to get more. But a friend came down, Sean. I was supposed to hang out with him, and he actually ended up getting COVID. But he came over the border like 3 or 4 days after he stopped testing positive. He was feeling okay. I still didn't want to hang out just because I was like, I with my valve and stuff, I try to be extra safe. But he dropped me off some beers at my house. This was one of them. This is from Third Moon Brewing, and it was a huge. They're each beast of God. I know Paul loves the name of this. They're Ethiopian Washigori Geisha coffee. Now this is more in your realm, Kyle, because you love coffee. I don't know what the hell any of that means. But it was a delicious imperial coffee style. Let's just say that. Yeah. I gave it I gave the Pliny for president a 4.65. I gave this a 4.45. One of the best no frills, just imperial coffee styles I've ever had. It was fucking great. So anything on that coffee? You probably never. I mean, there's so many coffee beers.
No, I don't know that at all either. No.
Okay. So, but it was great. Third Moon doing great things in Canada.
I've heard of Third Moon. I've heard good things about the brewery, though. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Ontario. A bunch of beer nerds that used to drink all kinds of crazy shit, and now they decided to start a brewery right after the pandemic started. Unfortunately, like it was in motion beforehand, but then it hit. So
I did hear about that.
So next is from Brewhouse. Fuck you, Sammy. It was their secular. We've all drank a lot. I mean, Kyle, you and myself, a lot of folks in the comments, we drink a lot of crazy imperial, hazies and whatnot. This had the best body potentially I've ever had in a hazy. Like it was thick, and it wasn't even that big ABV. It was sub 10. I get the hype from Brewhouse. Would I still pay like crazy secondary prices for him? No. But again, another beer from Sierra Hotel because he's fucking insane. He's just, here's some great. 7 people can try this beer. You're going to be one of them. I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, it's Brewhouse makes great beers. I know you've had. I think you just got one from Brian, and
yeah.
So
and some collabs and stuff. But yeah. They
make good stuff. Next is Rogue. What can you say about Rogue? I've never loved Rogue. I've always appreciated some of their beers. They've always been more expensive because they're always on the West Coast shelf here in New York. You'll see like a lot of bottle shops will do it by like regions. They'll be like, oh, here's the West Coast beers, here's the East Coast, here's the South. They always used to be next to Lagunitas and Firestone Walker and breweries like that. So it was like they were always substantially more expensive and not as good. So I thought I would try out their Santa's Private Reserve Toffee Chocolate Stout. It was all right. I think I gave it a decent score. What did I give it? I gave it a 3.7. By the way, that Brewhouse got a 4.75. I gave it a 3.7. Fine beer, but it was all right. Then I took
that guy was good. I mean, but you're right, cheaper and better. Easily available.
Well, like their double chocolate stout's fantastic, but like that beer is always like $1 and $1.50 more per can than other beers within that style. It's just like
that is a good one. You're right, but you're right. It is more.
I took a day trip to Ohio, brought back a lot of barrel aged beers, a couple I would say mythical beer bucket list beers because I don't have a beer bucket list. Jackie O's, some Masshead stuff. I've gotten through about half of those beers, so looking forward to getting through the other half. Next, we have another Western New York Wednesday collapsible folding table. A lot of breweries here in Buffalo, but more specifically in New York State, like especially upstate and not close to New York City because it's more Jets and Giants fans. Everybody does like a Buffalo Bills tribute beer. They do some kind of they'll name it after something that in relation to the Bills. Here, if you know about the Bills fans, the Bills Mafia, like at tailgates, they put people through collapsible folding tables like it's a wrestling match. So that's what they named it. It's a Hell style lager. Pretty good Hell style lager. I think the actual name of the beer is a little bit better than the beer itself. So we got Kevin. Kevin shows up, says, "Yo, what's up, Kevin?" Kevin drinks some awesome beers. He's out of Pennsylvania. He's an untapped friend. Watches the channel occasionally. Shout out to you, buddy. Wings Pete says, "Old school West Coast IPAs are the best IPAs in my opinion." A lot of people agree, and they're coming back.
They're great.
Yep. Shaz says, "Rogue are the kings of collecting shelf dust." I didn't say it. He's not necessarily wrong. I ain't saying it. But yeah, they are. So the collapsible folding table. Fifth Frame is a really good brewery. If we do some kind of exchange this year, I don't know if you get stuff there locally, but
we don't, or not often, and I haven't seen it. No,
they do some good stuff from lagers to IPAs. They do a crazy like smoothie sour thing that I would never send you because it's insane and just not worth it. But like their pastry stouts are really good. Next, Monkish, another Sierra Hotel beer on Full to Scroll, triple dry hop Citra double IPA. It's Monkish, it's Citra. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah. Like I gave that collapsible folding table a 4.1. This got a 4.6. One of the better IPAs I've had so far this year. Here's a classic, a Flanders / Flemish Red Ale, Duchess de Bourgogne from Brewery Verhage. This is a beer that's absolutely phenomenal every single time I have it, and I haven't had it in a long time. So I got it as a shelfie beer, and I was like, let me dive into these classic Belgian beers, right? And man, they have that balsamic red wine like vinegar, but like it's meant to be there type of vibe. You know what I mean? Because that's what the style it dictates. So fucking good, and that's like a true sour as opposed to like a kettle sour you see here.
See, I don't review beers like that on my channel because I have no idea how to pronounce it, and it like.
Oh, me either.
Because I love that beer, but it's like I don't know. I think you just nailed it, Joe. I got to be honest, man. I think you nailed the pronunciation.
I love when I do like German and Belgian beers specifically because I'll get at least one comment per video on those and be like, "This is how it's pronounced." And I'm like, I'm an American that can barely speak the English language properly. If you think I'm going to pronounce the shit out like the Schlenkerlas, right? The smoked beers from Germany. Like I look at that and I look at that and I look it up and I look at it and I'm like, we're just going with Schlenkerla. They're out of Bamberg, Germany. I'm good. It's crazy. But yeah, that beer is delicious. It really is. It's like one of those classic beers everyone should have. Next, we have a beer I'm sure you've had before, the Abyss, part of their Reserve series. This was the 2022 release. I think it was like 13 or 14 months old. A bit lacking compared to prior vintages I had. I don't know if it was because of the age on it or whatever, but it was a bit lacking. And I've always loved to shoot stuff. The Abyss is one of those top tier breweries, and it was good. But
that video made me put one of mine, what not the Abyss, but a different one from the brewery, into my beer fridge to do a Cellar video in the near future.
Okay, nice.
I got a couple of those, those black, So nice. I was like, oh, I should do one of these. So anyway,
they're a great brewery, but they've never distributed New York. They always come to Ohio and PA, and that's where they stop, and that's really a bummer. But I still give it like a 4.1, which again is a good rating, but like this beer used to be 4 or 5 or higher in my mind, and just like blowing your mind. This is just a solid, good, well-made beer. Next, Maplewood out of Chicago had one other beer courtesy of a viewer of the channel, Kenny, a couple of years back. This is the one I picked up on the Ohio day trip. Juice Pants, just a hazy IPA. It was good. A lot of people told me the son of Juice Pants is the one to get from them at some point. So if ever go back to Ohio in the future here, maybe I'll look for that one. I guess they just started getting distro into Ohio, so I grabbed it. It was relatively fresh. I was like, I'll give it a go. So I don't think Rick's here anymore, but we'll talk about this one a little bit more later. It's gonna be on my top beer list. But this was Witch Metal Black, batch number 5, the 2022 release from Fox Farm. Blended barrel-aged imperial stout, aged on crushed hazelnuts, toasted coconut, and cocoa-dusted toasted coconut. Yeah, it was good. Juice Pants got a 4 out of 5, by the way. Witch Metal Black, we'll talk about it. Next, Zero Gravity. How much stuff have you had from Zero Gravity?
I'm familiar with them. I don't know if I've had anything. If I have, it's not a lot, no.
Okay, because they have like their Conehead IPA. I've had their Oktoberfest. I know Sean.
Oh, them. Yeah, sorry. Yes. I've had Conehead IPA.
Okay, Sean from Nerd Sense, I think it was last year before, really was pumping up their Oktoberfest, which was good.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Yes.
This is the shelfie, like they just call it generic Pilsner. They don't specify if it's German or Czech or whatever. And you can get this typically like $20 a 12-pack, $18 a 12-pack, right? So it's like in Wegmans and whatnot. Solid, solid shelfie Pilsner, like nothing more, nothing less. I can see why people liked it. I didn't necessarily love it. I think I gave it a 3.7. I think I gave it. No, I gave it a 3.8. It's about where it lands. It's fine. Next, local brewery, Flying Bison. I don't know if you ever drank any Flying Bison when you were here in Buffalo for college.
The only one that I ever did was Pearl Street back in the day. So like since then I have had I've been to the Big Ditch Brewery a couple of times. I think that's the only new brewery since I went to college in Buffalo that I had. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Pearl Street? Am I remembering it correctly?
Yeah, Pearl Street's right down from the Sabres Arena. And
yeah.
This was good. Just a good, well-made German style Bock, one of my favorite from Flying Bison. And one of the New Year's resolutions for me was to review more of like Western New York beers from older breweries that I haven't, because a lot of times I just go back to Big Ditch or Thin Man and things of that nature. So I was like, I'll do some more of them. So it was good. I gave it I think a 4 out of 5. I think I gave it. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Next, a smoothie sour from Hydra, from Mortalis and Ill Will. Now, Ill Will's getting some hype. Chris, viewer of both of our channels, he said he wants to go to Ill Will soon. The reason I put this on the list is not only was it delicious, but it was one of the few heavily fruited sours that had cantaloupe in it. You don't see that. No, not heavily fruited sours. It's usually, like they'll do watermelon. You don't really see honeydew or cantaloupe. And I don't like, I'm not a huge cantaloupe guy. I love honeydew, right? Love watermelon. Don't like cantaloupe.
Okay.
Not only was the cantaloupe great in this, but they also used banana. So it was like a banana cantaloupe fucking fruit smoothie. It was absolutely divine, right?
Yeah.
Was it beer? I don't give a shit. People ask me all the time, but it was tasty.
Yeah.
So I have to throw it on the list. Next was Jack's Abbey, their Framingham, their bourbon barrel aged Framingham. Always a fantastic Baltic porter. And the barrel aged, this specific vintage from this past year, fucking, as the kids would say, and maybe Joe from Joe's Arcade, fire. It was fire. It was delicious. It was delicious. The barrel age is the one to go with from 2023, in my opinion. I gave the base like a 4, and I gave the barrel age a 4.5. It was just everything you want on like a barrel aged Baltic porter. It hit the nail on the head. Next, we got another Brewhouse beer from Sierra Hotel. Their Malzberg, really good. Not as good as the Secular. Still gave it like a 4.5 or something like that. 4.55, 4.45, whatever I gave it. It was really good. Now I gave it a 4.3. Actually, I take that back. So a little bit lower. Probably my least favorite of the 3 Brewhouse beers I had. But
okay,
Brewhouse reminds me when I first had Fines, when you sent me 4 the first time. All of them got like a 4.25 to a 4.5. I could tell the quality, but none of them kind of blew me away from the original batches.
Gotcha.
This was kind of similar in that you could all tell the quality, and then one kind of stood out from the crowd. And I think that's what happened with the Fines. Like one stood out, and the rest were just, this is great. Like if this is my local brewery, I'd definitely go and grab them. So, look at the comments, and we'll go back. Brian says Pliny for Prez was great, but it was expensive. Okay, he was able to trade a 5, just a single 5.
Nice.
Sport.
That's worth it.
Yeah, Pliny for Prez was delicious, but just, not Pliny to some degrees. How often do you buy beers where you can't see or read the date on it? Well, for shelfie beer reviews, I don't usually give a shit because I think that's the allure of buying shelfie beers. It's like a lot of times you can't get fresh beers that are just on the shelf. But more often than not, I try to get fresher stuff for the channel because I know people freak out about it. Even though I've had and we both have older, IPAs, say hazy IPAs that are 2 to 4 months old that are still fucking delicious.
For sure.
Brian says Quebec has some good spouts with Mesmerum, Toltec, Sir John, Nano Cinco hops, etc. Hops for days in their hazies. Yeah, I have heard really good stuff about the Quebec beer scene for sure. And then Rick says, I'm chilling for another 15 or so. Real glad you dug the Witch Metal Black. I'm cracking the second bottle any day now. Oh boy. Nice. Hopefully, I can't wait for him to drink and be like, this is trash. He's not wrong. So next row, we got Allagash, Gatherwell, a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. I know Paul reviewed it, a couple other people. Listen, I love Allagash. We talked about Allagash White when we did this the review from Amagang. It was good. I gave it a 4 out of 5, but I've had better from Allagash, better barrel aged beers from Allagash. It was kind of that is the definition of a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout shelfie, is what that Allagash beer is. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
When I was watching it, that was an interesting to watch.
Yeah. I would never not tell anyone to buy it, but I would never recommend it.
Like you said, because I think Allagash. So that was an interesting one when I watched it.
Next, I'll try to go a little bit further so we can actually get to our beers and stuff because we only got about 35 minutes or so. Daybreak from Wolf's Ridge Brewing. This is a bucket list beer, coffee vanilla cream ale. Do I need to say more? We just talked about fucking Jenny cream ale and how Kyle and I, as far as macros, we love it. I love cream ales. Right. This is exactly what you would think it was. Gave it a 4.3. Delicious. Need to drink more Wolf's Ridge down the road. We'll talk about Oberon. I'll save this, but this is going to be on the most surprising beers. But Oberon Eclipse from Bell's surprised me. As a notorious Oberon hater, some people have called me. Did not hate that one. And then Westbrook, the Goza, right? Old school Goza from Westbrook, the key lime pie Goza. This was their grandma's apple pie Goza. Pretty good. Not amazing. Still like the key lime pie and the base one better, but pretty fucking good. Next, here's one that I don't know if you have had it in a while, Kyle, or not, but Mocha from Southern Tier, they brought it back.
I haven't had it since they brought it back, but back in the day, for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be on my disappointing beer list.
Okay, so interesting.
Throwing that out there. Yep. We'll talk more about the rating for that. The apple pie, grandma's apple pie, I gave a 4.2. I thought it was really well done. If you like apple pie and you like Gozas, good blend. My only non-alcoholic beer I've reviewed so far this year, Trail Pass IPA from Sierra Nevada. They've jumped into the non-alcoholic fray with this and a golden ale, and a little bit disappointing coming from Sierra Nevada. I drank more like a session IPA or like a pale ale. Okay. Still decent. And I would, if someone handed me that and I was like, what non-alcoholic beer do you have? Like you said, you did Just a Haze from Sam Adams. If they give it to me on tap, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't seek it out specifically for a non-alcoholic beer. It is what it is. And then Schlenkerla's Eich Doppelbock, which from Brauerei Hellertrum, still don't love this beer. Very savory, it's different because it's oak smoked, as opposed to the Beechwood like they do with a lot of the regular beers. So it wasn't as intense on that like campfire-y, like almost charred, just like really burnt smoke. It was more savory bacon. Think like meat smoke or like subtle campfire. Really good. Still not exactly my jam. I gave that a 4 out of 5. I gave the Trail Pass, I think, like a 3.5, 3.6. Next, talk about North Park and hype beers. This was North Park and Slice. Their chopped greens, triple dry hopped hazy IPA, double IPA. This beer would have got a 5 out of 5. Shit you not. It was the worst body mouthfeel I've ever had from a North Park beer, hands down. It was almost spritzy, like, since Matt's in the comments, like carbonic acid. It was so like seltzer-esque, like very carbonated, where it like knocked it down. I think I gave it a 4.4. Knocked it down over a half point. When your body is that substantial and mouthfeel substantially bad, like to knock it from a potential 5 to a 4.4, you know that like I was not digging it. Yeah, so Matt says the key to pronouncing Belgian beer names, the moment through them, a la Worcestershire sauce. Always confident, often wrong. Oh yeah, all the time. I'll even look them up on like Google and get like their pronunciation. And I get in the review. I'm like, what the fuck did I say? I don't know how to say this.
Yeah.
How did I even look it up? I'm an idiot. Jackie O's. The next beer is Jackie O's. Their vanilla coffee bourbon barrel dark apparition, the 2023. If you like vanilla coffee, barrel aged imperial stouts, like yes, it's Jackie O's. They make fucking fantastic barrel aged beers. This was phenomenal. I gave it a 4.7. Just absolutely exactly what I kind of want out of the style and those adjuncts. Right? I mean. Yeah, Jackie O's. If you've had Jackie O's before, Gregory, like they just make great beer. Next, Budweiser, clearly the best beer I had this year. Macro Monday, busted out the king of beers. Let me tell you right now, it is definitely not the king of beers. Astringent finish just ruins Budweiser for me every time. And guess what? It ruined for me again. Not great. I gave it a 2.4. Couldn't even pass it. It's not like offensive to the point where it's like gross. It's offensive to the point where I don't ever want to drink that beer again. Next, the worst beer I had, and this will be on the disappointing beer list without question because this beer was infected. Black Ops, 4 Roses, small batch series from Brooklyn, infected, end of story. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But
I almost bought a 4-pack today, or at least one can, and then I remembered the video. I'm like, wait, no, don't do that. I didn't. Yeah.
I sent you that as a mystery beer a couple years ago, and it sounded way better than whatever I was drinking in my glass. I don't think it was infected.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No,
it wasn't great. I don't think you loved it, but you're like, oh, it's a solid like barrel aged imperial style.
Yeah. A little thin, maybe. I do remember that.
Yeah. This was so infected. It was disgusting. Another Mortalis, the only 2 heavily fruited beers I reviewed this year, both from Mortalis. This was their apple pie, part of their diner pie series. Really cool. They do, like basically they called this a fruit ale. They didn't call it fruit sour. Inspired by diner pies, this one apple pie, exactly what it says it was, a little bit sweet, whatever, it is what it is. And that's it for me. The other ones are, I will say though, I gotta say this side project is the first side project beer I had. It was a barrel aged imperial Neapolitan stout. I gave it a 5 out of 5, best beer I've had this year, and side project lives up to the hype based on one beer. It's fucking just gnarly how good that fucking beer was. Like it was insane. So yeah, so that was what I drank in January. We'll do comments real quick, and then we'll start with our most disappointing beers if you have any. If not, that's cool too. But I figured we'll do that. So we have Josh from Last Beer says, "Cheers, Josh. Nice to see you hop in for even if it's just a second, buddy. Appreciate it." Gregory just acknowledging the Jackie O's
so good.
love. Yeah. Then Josh says he almost pulled the trigger on a 500 milliliter bottle of Blast for $54. Is that Anchorage, right? That's Anchorage, right?
Given the price point, yes.
Yeah, someone should probably kick you in the shin for that thought. Josh, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? How many infected cans have you both had over my course of my life? A decent amount. Not even cans, not bottles. You're saying? Couple cans. Not many bottles. Or more bottles than cans by far.
Yeah.
And then Chaz says 6-pack of 16-ounce cans of Budweiser, same price as here in Nevada, 6-pack. Yeah, fuck that noise. Like that.
Yeah.
I almost just got like a gag reflex reading that. All right.
And it's funny because people are, have been commenting to me like, do macros. And it's like,
that's why I do the big ass cans because I can buy a single for like $2. It's like, I'm not buying an entire fucking 6-pack of any of this shit.
I'm not saying no, but actually, and Sean from Nerd Sense did send me a mystery beer that I liked, and it was like High Life.
It was High Life, yeah. You need to work them in. If you go to like a gas station or your grocery store, wherever, just check like where the singles are, and you'll be like, all right, I'll buy this big fucking 25 fluid ounce can of Budweiser that I want to drink about 3 ounces of that. I'll buy it for $2.50. Like, I don't have to buy an entire six. That's all I do. Like, it's too expensive, and also I don't drink that much off camera, so it's like they're gonna go to waste. So, all right. So we'll go most disappointing. What is you got any from this past month or no?
Well, it's one of those, but it's to stay on theme. I drank it in January, but it has not been posted yet. Okay. So I'll put it this way: people who know my thoughts on this, when they see me post this video in February, they're gonna be like, "This is the one he was talking about." But I already knew it was going to disappoint me, so it wasn't like a shock that it disappointed me. It was super obvious that it was going to disappoint me, and it did. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just kind of
look at this teasing son of a
tease it out a little bit. Yeah.
All right. For me, outside of the Gather Well, I already said, so I won't touch on that. The Southern Tier Mocha, the reason why that disappointed me was because that was one of my favorite Blackwater series beers. And basically what I remember that beer being was their chocolate, spelled CHOKLAT, with coffee, right? That's exactly it turned into mocha. That's why they named it. This past year's release was like they made chocolate and they put a little coffee into it.
Okay.
So it was more like chocolate with a hint of coffee as opposed to actual mocha vibes. Yeah. It was still good. I gave it a 4.1. Still one of the better. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Southern Tier over the last year and a half, 2 years with their ale with natural flavor shit, kind of losing me. A lot of stuff tastes too fake. And that was the least, fake tasting beer. It tasted authentic. It just wasn't enough coffee. So it disappointed me from my memory of loving that beer as a Blackwater series beer.
Yeah. Do you remember, I mean, the point of this is not nostalgia, but like, man, back in the day, those 22-ounce bombers, how special it was when you got and the chocolate was like I liked a lot of those, but the chocolate was the one above all the other ones.
You're just trying to fire up Paul from Paper News. He reminisces about bombers in general. Like he thinks like the quality of them were better, and it's hard to disagree because it feels like they were a lot of the beers. He ain't wrong, as they say.
Yeah, so good. Anyway,
my most disappointing beer was that Black Ops. It was 100% infected. It tasted like I've had sour stouts before that I enjoyed. This I was looking. I wanted to sit down and review a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, and it turned into a bourbon barrel aged imperial sour stout. It had the balsamic vinegar, the red wine vinegar, very acidic. After about 3 or 4 ounces, like I started getting heartburn and like acid reflux. I gave it a 1.75, and I think that's even due. I probably should have not rated it, but guess what? It was on the shelf. I bought it. I'm rating it.
Yeah.
But
it was sad watching you
it was very disappointing because I was like, I remember this when it came in the big 750s, and it was pretty solid. And I enjoyed it. Nah, not anymore. So that's one of the most disappointing beers I've had in a long time, to be honest with you. Because to touch on what Gregory said, I haven't had many infected cans of beers.
And I think Brooklyn does good stuff, So that was sad to see.
Garrett says his most disappointing beer he had in January was Sam Adams' new Red Zone Lager. Had high hopes. I saw that game day pack. I didn't buy it or anything, but Red Zone Lager. I guess I wonder what type of lager it is. I guess I don't
know.
I'm staying away from it now. One, as I always say, just definitely make up your mind off of one person's opinion. No, but I like getting intel from different people. Like that Black Ops, a lot of people said it was infected and not good, and they weren't wrong. Yeah. All right, so let's do most surprising. Anything that kind of surprised you in a positive way, like you went into the review and you're like, oh shit, this is way better than I thought. I'll go first if you want to think.
Yeah, I want to think about that for a second.
For me, it was that Hydra because cantaloupe, and I don't like cantaloupe, and it was like, okay. Then I had the Maduro Brown Ale. Like, as somebody, a notorious disliker of most brown ales, I do like English more than American. It's still, I didn't think it was going to be that good, and I was like, holy shit, wow, like I need to drink more brown ales. And then the final one for me was, I said we talk about the Oberon Eclipse. Listen, I don't get Oberon, never will get Oberon. I understand why people enjoy it. I feel like, and you can speak to this too, Kyle, because we're both in New York, we get a lot of snow and whatnot. Yeah. If you're in Michigan and there's a beer release that's coming out in March when the weather starts getting better, and you've been dealing with those Michigan winter that for 4, 5, 6 months, of course Oberon releasing to you is just like, oh yeah, it's fucking gonna be funny and the weather's better and it's spring and summer are coming, because that beer and that style for myself personally, American Pale Wheat Ales, I want this. I want Belgian style beers. I want German Hefeweizens. I feel like the yeast they use is typically like an American yeast that just doesn't have the characteristics that a lot of European ones do. But that Oberon Eclipse was kind of like a heavier Oberon with more flavor, and that's exactly what I want. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's not as drinkable because it's a little bit heavier, a little bit too flavorful. I don't give a shit. I thought it was great, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. The Oberon, that's under the category of beers I need to revisit. Not beers I used to love and need to revisit, just beers I need to revisit. It's been a long time. To even for me to speak on it, I would feel like I couldn't because it's been so long. And I don't want to say it was unremarkable when I had it. It wasn't remarkable enough that I'm remembering all these years later. Like, no, I feel like I can still talk about it, So
they have an Oberon day for Christ's sake.
Oh yeah, no, they.
it's crazy to me.
Yes.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah.
But to each their own. Like what you like.
Oh, for sure.
I'm an idiot, so it doesn't matter.
No,
all right. So any surprising, or did you not think of anything? Did you?
Yeah, I mean, surprising. I like. You mentioned the brown ale. I mean, I wasn't surprised Fidens did a good job with the brown ale, but like, it is surprising when a brewery like them, or even like early Treehouse, I just knew about, oh, they make nice hazy IPAs and double IPAs. And then it's like, oh, wait, they have other styles that I also like, so it's like, I don't want to like undersell any brewery that way, but when they're mostly famous for a certain style or maybe even two styles, when they nail a different style, it's like, yeah, I guess you could say it's surprising. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't had it before. So that was cool. Like, brown ale from Fidens. What? Yeah. No, that was probably the closest I had that month. Yeah.
I wonder if that beer hung around for a while because of the style.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's so funny because I'm still like, it'll last. Like some of the other stuff, it's like, oh, the next day it's gone. I guess I'm not getting everything I want if I go once a week. Anyway, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. All right. So the last will be your top beers.
And I do have good answers for this, so don't worry.
Okay. So go ahead. Yeah. You go first on this one.
Yeah. And it wasn't because the one is not surprising. And I say in my review that one from Artisanal, the triple IPA, because I think it was 2 years ago at this point, my favorite triple IPA was from them for that whole year. So I was going into that thinking I would probably like it because I know they don't make a ton of triple IPAs. But I'm like, man, that one was so good. And I like the IPA and double IPA version of that beer. So I'm like, it's really setting me up to love that. And of course I ended up loving it. And it's, what I do on my channel is, or for the channel is, if I think it's a contender for beer of the year, I just set it to the side. And that one, I actually have 3 I set aside from January. So when you were like, yeah, we'll talk about maybe 3 that you think are the best. I'm like, well, that's easy for me because I got 3 sitting there.
I got 4 that I set aside, and 2 of them are from January, and the other 2 are that I'm going to be releasing in a couple of days.
Nice. Well, and I assume one is the one you were speaking about recently.
Yep.
And then that one Woodland, and it's always cool if it's local.
Yeah.
Like if it's like in that conversation, even if it doesn't end up panning out the whole year, even if it's just in the conversation, that's impressive. But then that Woodland Maple one, and I did realize when I was finishing it off camera, I talk about this like maple cotton candy kind of mapleness of it.
I remember that note.
And I have had maple cotton candy at a food truck event, and someone was spitting out.
That sounds delicious.
It was awesome. I totally forgot in the moment that I had ever even had it. And then as I kept getting that note off camera, I'm like, wait, idiot, like you have had that specific thing and it was delicious. I'm the maple head guy. Everyone makes fun of me as the vanilla police, but chocolate and maple are way more my, favorite.
The story with you and your grandfather, you have to
exactly
every single review you have to.
I have to say it.
Yeah.
I have to, for whatever reason, I have to say it.
Because not everyone watches every single review. So
true, and that's true. And
they come back and they've never seen a maple. They're gonna be like, "What do you mean? I don't know your history with it." So
which is true, and it's just the history of it too. Just it's always a happy memory of doing that, and then oh crap! Sorry, talking so much about maple made me forget the third one I set aside. It was the Woodland, the Artisanal.
One of the breweries, I think you said.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
See, I'm listening.
I don't want to spoil Monday's video, but I'll say I'll give you. It's one of these 3. The base Black Tuesday. I'll just go in order. Actually, let me go in order of days of the week. So there's no possible way. Gray Monday was not it. So I'll start with Black Tuesday. I'll spoil a little bit. So Black Tuesday, Mocha Wednesday, and then the Aloha Friday.
Okay.
It was one of those 3. I'll put it that way.
I hope it's the Aloha Friday.
So make sure you watch on Monday, everyone.
I just unsubscribed. Now I'm not watching anything. That's twice. Actually, I resubscribed because I unsubscribed earlier.
Well, you have to resubscribe to then unsubscribe.
Yeah, that's how you do it. For me, we'll do that. We'll read comments and we'll do beer news and beer releases real quick because we got about 15, 20. For me, again, that Jackie O's is up there. I forget how good Jackie O's stuff is. And I mean, I drank a lot of their stuff back in like the mid to between 2014 and 17. the fact that we don't get them here is bummer, but like that's why I picked up 4 when I was on. I was like, I got to get their barrel aged goodness, and that beer is just, oh my god, I'm looking forward to the rest. I got like an imperial coffee stout or barrel aged imperial coffee stout. I got a the other one is like a blended beer like that spent 23 months in the barrel, so like that is gonna be, I think, some good shit. The secular from Brewhost, it's hard for me to like throw hazies nowadays like into the top. But that body, I will never forget the body of that beer. It was fucking so delightful. So delightful. And then the best beer I had in January, and the second best beer I've had all year so far, that Witch Metal Black from Fox Farm, the blended barrel-aged imperial stout, crushed hazelnuts, toasted coconut, cocoa dusted toasted coconut, fucking phenomenal body, mouthfeel, fucking taste. Almost a picture perfect barrel-aged imperial stout with like the hazelnuts and the coconut coming through. It almost reminded me of like an adult version or like an elite version of like an Almond Joy, you know, with replacing the almonds with like hazelnuts or like Ferrero Rocher, right? But in that realm, and it's Fox Farm. It's fucking that they can brew this 3.8%, crazy German style lager, and then come back with a 16% fucking crazy adjunct laden bourbon barrel aged stout. It's like, my brain can't process it.
Yes. Yeah, there are breweries that nails so many styles.
Yeah, they definitely do. All right, so we have these right here. Chasna says, I like the Red Zone Lager, so different opinions between Garrett and Chaz. Josh says, has anyone had the salted caramel barley wine by Three Floyds? No, I should totally try it. Love salted caramel. Love Three Floyds.
I didn't know that existed.
Love barley wines. Yeah. We don't get a lot of those crazy like barrel-aged releases.
No.
Garrett says, Red Ale was an American Amber Red. The Breakaway Blonde Ale on the hand I thought was better. I did see the Breakaway Blonde Ale as a single, like in a 6-pack, as opposed to just in that variety pack. He says the Breakaway Blonde is also in 12th. There you go. So I didn't even read that comment. Like, makes sense though. Rick says, was pleasantly surprised by the French Toast Framingham. Was worried it'd be too sweet, but found it well balanced. Best beers I had were the Boulevard Mixed 6 beers plus 3-year-old Panther Cub. Wow, from Founders. Evening, sirs. Take it easy, Rick. Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, the Boulevard Mixed 6 beers, fantastic for like $20 to $25 for 6 barrel-aged beers that are all like 13+%, like fucking insane, and they're all delicious. The French Toast Framingham, you're like the third person I saw that said they like that. So if I see that, I'm gonna have to grab that. Josh says mine were either French Toast Brunch from Prairie or 3x3 triple IPA collab from. Didn't like a bunch of breweries do that, or is it just
which brewery? I'm curious because a bunch have done it.
Yeah. And then Gregory says Jackie O's. He's on his Jack. He's in Florida now, but originally from Ohio. He loves the Jackie O's. And why shouldn't he? Best beer I had in January is Christmas Eve at a New York City hotel room Royals Suit Edition. I will say this: Wings and Pizza. Fuck Evil Twin for the names of their beers, but a lot of their beers are delicious. But fuck their names; they're so stupid. God damn it!
I gotta look that up because I think I reviewed one of those.
The Christmas Eve one. And then Vanessa Kitty says hi. What's up, Vanessa? Long time no see. What's up? All right, so we got about 15 minutes or so. So we'll do the beer releases real quick because I can just get those out of the way. We can just say, hey, that sounds cool. And then we'll do a couple beer news and we'll wrap it up. So I don't know if you saw this, Kyle, or anybody out there, but Trogs is releasing a beer called Little Nader. They're calling it a springtime lager, but it's a mini version of the Troganator. So it's a Bock instead of a Doppelbock, and it's coming out in spring, so it should be out this month. I'm going to grab that. That sounds cool. I'm curious.
Yes.
It's cool to do like a side-by-side. Get Troganator, get the little one, and see, is it actually a small... Hey, how about this, Kyle? You and I review that as a review.
That would be rad.
Let's do that.
That would be rad.
We can do it on your channel, my channel. We can do it on both channels, whatever, doesn't matter. But I think that would be fun because we both like Trog stuff quite a bit. So so let's keep that in mind to do. And then Great Lakes, they just released a new year-round IPA called Midwest IPA. Admittedly, I don't drink a lot of Great Lakes hop forward beers. Like I drink a lot of their like classic styles. So I'm gonna pick that up. Everyone's always talks about Midwest IPAs, and I always understand like bells a lot of times. People are like, oh, that's a Midwest IPA. So I'm curious what qualifies as a Midwest IPA, especially from Great Lakes. So definitely gonna try that out. Then last but not least, this is the one I said would excite you. Not the Trogs. Okay. Dogfish Head. Their special release of Worldwide Stout this year is Affogato. So the Italian dessert.
Really?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Didn't they release the Wake Up Wide one? Isn't Affogato or Affogato, isn't it like basically it's like ice cream with like a shot of So isn't that like it's basically what were they gonna put like coffee and vanilla in it, I guess? So it's like
I would think so.
So it's kind of similar to that Wake Up.
Yeah.
But
And
with like
that-
vanilla? Maybe
yeah,
like-
and that wake up was disappointing to me, which was hard. Like,
See, I liked it, but it wasn't as good as like the regular.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm hopeful. I mean, I love coffee and vanilla in those kinds of things. But yeah, man, that was, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's when I saw. I was
you
like,
have
oh,
piqued
yeah.
my interest for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a go. I mean, that 120, that fucking Utopia's Barrel Aged 120 was like one of the best beers that I had last year.
Cool. Yeah.
That shit was fucking delicious.
So I see the synergy with those.
Yeah. Wings and Pizza says, I saw that yesterday. I thought it was going to be a watered down version of Nugget Nectar. No, it's a watered down version of the Chocolate Nectar. Hopefully it's not, though. Hopefully it's, like a well-made Bach. Like, that's what I hope.
That Nugget Nectar. God, I love that beer so much.
Yeah, I saw you're looking for double. Did you find it today?
I love it so much.
Did you find double or no?
No, it's sold out.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, sucks.
Well, if I find some, I'll have to try to find a way.
I bought another 6-pack of regular because I love it so much. But anyway,
that's still delicious. Yeah, definitely best beer in January. Has Top and Goliath's Nepo Baby. Yeah, I've seen that one. Chaz says I saw the Wake Up White. It's $40, so not worth it. I mean, it's a 15 to 20% beer.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get one bottle to try for $10, sure. But I would hate to tell you to spend 40.
Yeah, I could advocate.
I bought a 4-pack. I drank one, gave one to my friend Jim, brought one to BeerTuber Palooza, and I still have one aging.
Yeah. I could I'm like how I couldn't advocate buying a 4-pack, but if you could find a single somehow, grab it.
Yeah, try it. But yeah.
Gregory says the founder's KBS spicy chocolate is pretty tasty. That sounds interesting. It does for sure. And Josh says picked up a bottle of Spawn Grapefruit by Jester King. Oh, nice. Yeah, we get Jester King occasionally. When I saw them in cans, I was like, that's weird. Like it's
right. It is weird. Although grapefruit, I love grapefruit.
I know you do. Yeah, it might be fun. All right, so we'll do one last comment, and then we'll get into a couple news topics, and then shut it down. It says, Adam says, cheers, Joe's account. I may have had a few Guinnesses at the UK Deathmatch Wrestling Tournament. Adam, you feeling a little bit toasty, buddy? When he says a few, he means probably like 8. So. Hope you had a good time. Hopefully they weren't too gory as far as wrestling death matches go. All right, so the first big news here, Anchor. Anchor is going to be getting a new owner this upcoming week. They've been, I guess, like a lot of different, I don't want to say breweries, but people have been submitting bids, different groups.
Yeah.
And this past Wednesday, they call it like the, what was it, like the San Francisco Collective or something.
Yeah.
However, the prior workers and employees of Anchor were trying to get some like investment groups together to submit a bid. They decided not to, which means that they are going probably up against some heavy hitters in the industry. I'm curious, a couple things to ask you specifically, Kyle, and anybody in the comments. Who do you think would be a good, bigger company to buy Anchor? And do you think any brewery that does buy Anchor or any investment group or whoever, do you think they're going to focus more on California? Basically, do you think we're ever going to see Anchor outside of California ever again?
And maybe it's because we talked about Ballast Point.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's my thought is like we'll buy it, but we're gonna keep it more, regional or state or West Coast or whatever. So at this time, I am not hopeful. Yeah, I would say I'm not hopeful of us seeing it in New York.
Yeah. I think the only way for them to get good distribution is if a brewery like Sam Adams or Sierra Nevada was to buy everything and then brew the stuff at their facility and then get into their distro markets.
Yeah.
But if you're buying the land and the brewery and everything, that would make no sense. So I don't think a brewery like that will do that. It's probably going to be your AB InBevs of the world, your Heineken's, whoever. I feel like a brewery like that, but they've already went down that road with Sapporo. So it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. It's going to be interesting.
Sam Adams, that's a real interesting one with how they did it with Dogfish. And not that this will be the same thing, obviously, for obvious reasons, but having a West Coast facility, maybe like the Sierra Nevada. I don't know if Sam Adams, do they have a West Coast facility? Maybe.
I think they're all like, I think Cincinnati's probably the furthest west.
Right. So like, is it going to be like a bi-coastal thing from there? I mean, that's an interesting one. And then they kind of have the portfolio of it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if somebody like just buys. I mean, I think they're selling the brewery and the land and everything. So I don't think it's going to be someone just buying like the actual like IPs to everything. Yeah. Like they're actually going to be buying everything.
Like an East Coast brewery, like a Sam Adams, to have the West Coast easier capability. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. A couple questions here. He says, Gregory says, if you find Will, we talked about the Leganese Will ties. He was not able to find it. I did not look for it, and I have not seen it. So
the only 2 beers so far this year that I wanted to get is the double Nugget Nectar and the Lagunitas Will ties. And both, I didn't realize hit my area. They both hit my area and sold out. So yes,
they gone. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
So it's next year. Josh says, also picked up a bottle of Dark Horizon coffee stout by a brewery out of Norway, 16%. Is that Nagna? Is that Dark Horizon? Right? That's from them, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
And Adam says, lots of light tubes, too many, not 8, 6 pints. It was extra cold Guinness tap as well, which for me is just a waste of time. Oh, Jesus. But you drank 6 of them, so maybe not that big of a waste of time, Adam. Wings and Pizza says, Sapporo, my God. Sapporo sells the company to that. They put in another bid for themselves. That'd be kind of wild.
I think that's, yeah.
Chad says, is Anchor top 10 shelfie brand? Not anymore, I don't think. I mean, you could have probably at one point argued they were in the top 5 probably. But
and with this news, it got me thinking, like, I only ever had their Steam. They had a nice porter, right?
Oh, that's the first beer I ever reviewed. I'm like, that's the beer, that gateway beer for me. That was the
and then the Christmas one. So I don't know if they make, if I'm being completely, I don't know if they make any other beer besides.
They had like their
made.
Old Foghorn, which is like American barley wine. They had a couple, but like we didn't see all that stuff in New York. We only saw pretty much Steam, Porter. They had a couple releases here and there, and the Christmas ale. That was it, like you said.
Yeah.
So,
Foghorn, I might have seen like one of those books, like 150 beers to try kind of things, like those table books.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So the next one is just a real quick. Most people out there are familiar with Canarchy, which is the craft brewery collective that was formed with Oscar Blues, Cigar City, and Perrin Brewing many years ago. Yeah. Well, Monster bought them, I think, back about 2 years ago. Yeah. They have now officially renamed that to the Monster Brewing Company, which leads me to believe that those Monster energy drinks are doing extremely well. But what is now? Will we see them be like, fuck craft beer because this is the market, and are they going to start selling those brands or do something? Because it would suck to see Oscar Blues and Cigar City to like bite the dust, but maybe they'll go the route like Funky Buddha, where like the original owners buy them back.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Well, I just thought it was weird that they changed the name to Monster Brewing.
Yeah, like it could just be a branding thing, and nothing changes, as we know. But or it could, as you just said, have seen where it could be something as wild as original owners coming back. Just the amount of money they put in. I mean, I know you can do like write-offs and stuff, but it just seems like it would be such a waste of their money. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I saw it and I'm like, that's interesting. Like you start seeing weird things like that. It's like, what does that mean for the craft beer? Now they're going Monster. Like they're actually going all in on the Monster name for the brewing company. It's like,
yeah, it's interesting.
All right. So we got one more. I'll read these comments. We'll do the last one and then we'll call it a show. Adam says, I think for me, the Dogfish Head Boston Beer Company is the best brewery to buy. Anchor. I still have an Anchor Magnum of Christmas ale from 2018, and Mr. Blue Nose. I call him Blue Hose. Here he is, a Blue Hose. I don't know what that means. In his cellar. That's pretty crazy. Wow. I do think. I mean, it would make sense to some degree, but because it's including the property and the brewery, I don't know unless again you're trying to do the Sierra Nevada, New Belgium thing where you're moving to the west, like you're saying from earlier, you're trying to do that West Coast and have it where you don't have to ship your cans and bottles across the fucking country, and you can just start producing there.
You buy it, you just want the brand, and then you sell that land anyway, unless it's contingent, unless the sales contingent on the land has to stay in that possession.
And the brewery and everything. I don't know if it's like officially a landmark in San Francisco and what that means.
It could be. That's interesting. Wings
and Pizza says, when I first started drinking Nugget, I feel like it wasn't released till March. Everything, you're exactly right. You wouldn't see it till March. Now you see it in like middle of January, like early January. It's insane. There's no reason for it. But that should be year round anyway. Wesley Jones says, hey, all happy Saturday. Cheers. What's up, Wes?
Cheers, Wesley.
Bill E. I always want to say Bill, but it's Billy. He says, my friend got a couple Christmas ales for 2023, only released at the brewery before they closed. It's the second time he's told me that, and it doesn't make me any happier, Billy. But that's cool that he was able to grab it. I didn't even know
it's awesome for Billy. Yeah. That's
for sure. Gregory C says, Oscar Blues very hit or miss on distro. Oh, fuck it, dude. If I could find a Dale's Pale Ale, I'd just be happy. Just a 6-pack. Just give me a fresh 6-pack. That'd be cool. And then Chad says Oscar Blues and Cigar City had their time, and it would suck if they went away, but nothing lasts forever. That is true. Especially when it comes to craft beer. A lot of breweries going away. So we'll wrap this up. We're trying to get done by 6:30. I think you said 5 minutes.
This is great. Perfect.
Yeah. So the last one is, I don't want to talk too much, and it's not political or anything. But it's something interesting because of what you enjoy every year and what I know, what everybody, not everybody, let me take it back. What a lot of people know you for. So Anheuser-Busch, right? They're having the issue with the Teamsters currently.
Yeah.
And they're talking about going on strike on March 1st if they don't get a new deal.
Yeah.
Kyle, what happens if for some reason that affects the Bourbon County brand stout release on Black Friday this year? How are you going to deal with potentially no Bourbon County for some reason? If that was to last for, say, the rest of the year. Let's say they do go on strike and it lasts for a long time. What happens?
Yeah,
you are the Bourbon County guy. You are the guy that reviews all the variants.
That's my
thing. Get all the views. Everybody loves coming to you for your opinion on it. What would happen? It'd be a dark year.
Yes.
Dark year for us.
For sure. Yeah, it would easily, because I get so many views with that stuff, I would YouTube would demonetize my channel. That'd be the first thing that would happen because
you lose all your subs. Everyone unsubs. There's no Bourbon County. I
don't get any new subs. I don't get enough views. I'd be like, you didn't reach the number of hours you need to be monetized. So you'd stop seeing ads on my channel. So some people would probably be stoked about that.
Your wife would not be probably happy about the the extra $6 you make a year or a month or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's huge, huge money.
You gotta monetize, Kyle.
Huge money. I make. Yeah. One year I did no buy November. I'd probably do that where I would just for the whole month just drink stuff I already own. But listen, I'm a laborer myself, so I'm not trying to get too political, but
no,
I'm pro labor.
And what's going to happen is what's going to happen. They think they want a fair deal. They're going to strike, and I'm curious to see what that actually means though for like their beers in general. Like I don't know how far out that goes. Like, but you're talking about maybe not being able to get the beers out in the distro and stuff. Like
it could be it'll be interesting.
I did see that like the longest they ever went on strike for was like with in terms of like Anheuser-Busch or AB InBev or whatever was like 95 days.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was going to be that you're talking about 3-month mark. That probably wouldn't affect Bourbon County specifically, but 3 months would affect a lot of stuff
now. So
but it would affect a lot of other stuff for them.
But yes, for sure,
and everything they own. But
yes, for sure.
At the end of the day, fuck AB InBev. Anyway, Wings and Pizza says, "Peace, gentlemen. Take it easy, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by and chatting as always." And Adam says, "I'm drinking the Camden Brewery HP sauce beer. It's a naturally vinegary. Who the fuck? Why are they brewing an A? They'd be like someone being like, I've got an A1 steak sauce beer. What are we doing?" I would try it.
Naturally vinegary.
Yeah,
I love that phrasing.
Yeah. I would try it. I don't know why I would, but I'd try it and probably hate every second of it. Greg says enjoyed the Bourbon County
figs, right? That's nice.
Yeah, that's the one with figs. And then I think that's a perfect way to end the stream right there.
Perfect, Billy.
Perfect.
Closer.
All right. So like I said, this is hopefully going to be a monthly thing where like for next month, it'll be probably the first Saturday of March. I'm going to try. It looks like maybe Rajay. I'll talk to Rajay.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know if every month I'm gonna bring on a BeerTuber, but that's the plan. Like we'll see. And Kyle, you're more than welcome back if you want to come back later in the year.
I mean, it's a cool format to have another person doing this with you, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better than me sitting here for an hour and a half, 2 hours myself, just talking about the beers I'm reviewing. It with somebody else, you get to kind of go over what they're drinking, and you kind of like, even though I watch a lot of your content and you watch mine as well. We don't watch everything, so it's like, hey, you like the brewery stuff. I haven't watched the last couple, so to know what you said specifically about the coconut one. Now I'm going to go and watch it tonight or tomorrow and be like, all right, let's see what
it is. Top 3. I won't say where, but yes,
yeah, for sure. So we'll see what goes on, but that's the plan going forward. I would say with Kyle and myself, I can't speak for him because we always don't have like schedules are tough to mesh up.
Yeah,
but. We're going to try to do some more beer reviews, whether it's once a month or once every couple months. Like we already talked about maybe doing that little Nader from Troll.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
Get our hands on it. And we'll try to do a little bit more together. I know Kyle and I are both of the opinion we need to do more live streams in general or hop on more live streams. So it's something that, we definitely want to do. And that's about it. Hopefully people enjoyed this format. Like I said, I want to do something different outside the box, not pigeonholed into, anything that's just like, hey, we're going to sit here and talk about our top beers and this. No, I wanted to go over our content. I think we did that. I think we did that in an appropriate amount of time for 2 people talking an hour and a half-ish. I think
It
it's pretty
felt
good.
on our end. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if other people had
Yeah.
same or different thoughts, but on my end, I thought that felt good.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed the live stream and you're watching this, post the live stream, post the comment section. Let me know constructive criticism. If there's something you think we could do maybe better down the line, I'm always open to that. I know Kyle. Hey, he had a video a couple weeks ago and said, "What do you want to see more on my channel?" So we're open to. I'm always open to suggestions, and I hope to do more series. I hope to steal his Seller Saturday, which I'll turn into Viewer's Choice Seller Sunday, and not give him any.
As I've said many times publicly, anyone can
I know.
drink from their cellar and call whatever they want on a weekend. I love it. Yes.
I'm not going to give him any credit at all. Zero, none, no inspiration. But thanks, Kyle, for joining me. It was fun to be able to chat it up with you. It's been a while. We didn't get to go to BeerTuber Palooza last year, which was a bummer. So
we both couldn't make it. But
so hopefully this year we're able to figure something out. So thanks everybody stopping by for another live vlog. So what do you always say at the end? Say it on mine, because I need people to smash the like button and hit subscribe. Fucking all that stuff.
And as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, not that either of us have a beer anymore, imbibe. Cheers, everyone. I don't even have water anymore.
I got the coldest water by on. Cheers.
There's a little bit in there, actually. All right. Cheers, Joe.
Anyway, cheers. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. It's an empty glass. I'm cheersing. It happens. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Also,
hydrated.
Hang on. I'm not yet, even though Garrett says both of you guys keep the great videos and cheers, everyone.
That's very kind of you, Garrett. Thanks, man.
And Gregory also says, enjoyed the stream, gents.
Yeah, Gregory.
Did he meant Cheerio or did he say stereo?
Stereo.
And then last Potter's Journal. Great talk and format. Thanks.
Yeah, I like this.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
All right.